Mount. We're still in our training. We're about 50% of the way through our training schedule right now. We have 12 training sessions that we do, and half of them are dismounted, half of them are mounted. So we pack an awful lot of learning in a short amount of time, so I expect the guys to do a little homework on their own, which they do pretty good.
Probably the driver's ed for the training, or for the horses. Driver's ed courses for the horses is what would have to be the hardest. Before I sat on the horse last week, it's probably been about 6 years.
For me to mount a trooper on a horse, full tack, proper tack, full uniform, all the weapons they need, their tent, sleeping gear, regular mess gear, and personal items that they need to have is roughly $5,000 a man. So it's not a cheap hobby. I'd have to say there's an awful lot of interest in it, and I think the sesquicentennial coming up next year is a big factor. 150th anniversary of the start of the war has to be a big issue with a lot of people right now.
It kind of makes you see the difference between what it was and what it was back then and how it is now, and what luxuries you have that they didn't have back then. Mainly it's just the way they cooked and ate and stuff, and what was all involved with that compared to how it is now. So
probably the cost, more than anything, just blows my mind. Just blows my mind. The textbooks say there was 620,000 killed, both sides, and most experts now guesstimate that there was closer to 750,000. 2/3 of those they did not die from wounds or, action. They died from disease, starvation, exposure, all kinds of other things. We did a cemetery funeral for an actual Civil War funeral. July 17th, 2005, my birthday. It was 105 degrees in the shade, and we were decked out in full 16-ounce kersey wool. 3 of us went down with heat stroke. The rest of them were taking off coats and icing down before the thing was even half over. So yeah, it can get very uncomfortable.